Okay, so we're going to go over Module 2 now. Okay? This is a lots and lots of words on Module 2, so I need y'all to really pay attention. We're going to take one break in the middle of Module 2. Okay, so who wants to read out loud again? Layton? You need to go get some tissue.
Sandy Wesley. Wesley failed. Undo it.
Hey, you guys. Who wants to read aloud? Okay, Gabe.
Lord, you have examined me. You know me. Verse 1. You are the one who created my innermost parts. You knit me together while I was still in my mother's womb. I give thanks to you that I was mercifully set apart. I'm going to
Good. Okay. Good job. God made us all, and He made us people of every biological sex, gender, height, color, skin tone, ethnicity, ability, and more. God made everybody to be alike and to be different. We are all wonderfully made by God. So, God created our bodies, including our sexual parts, and God gave us the ability to have sex for reproduction and for pleasure. Reproduction is the process that produces babies. So if we reproduce, that's the whole process of making babies. God wants us to share the gifts of sex and intimacy wisely. And this is intimacy can be a deep emotional connection that is present in many relationships, but can also be expressed in a special way through sex. So, intimacy doesn't just mean through sex, right? You can have an intimate relationship with your parents. It just means a close relationship. You can have an intimate relationship with Forrest, your youth minister. You can have an intimate relationship with your friends. And then there's also sexual intimacy, and that is best shared between adults in a committed, adult, loving relationship. Now, abstinence is the practice of waiting to have sex until you're an adult in a committed relationship, such as marriage. So abstinence would just be no sexual intercourse, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, before we talk about body parts specifically, I'd like to say a little bit about language. When it comes to our types of our bodies, we mentioned earlier that part of sexuality deals with some who we are categories like biological sex or gender identity. One thing that makes this area complicated is that health experts have come to understand that many of the words and categories we have used historically, like when I was growing up, such as male, female, boy, and girl, are not as simple as they seem. I'll quickly go over some of these terms you may have heard and how we will use them as we talk about our wonderfully made bodies. Okay, a person's sex refers to the biological features. It could be they have freckles, but also such as the genitals, reproductive organs, genes, and hormones. Typically, the female refers to the bodies that have a uterus, ovaries, vagina, vulva, and higher doses of hormones, and they're called estrogen. That's typically the female body. Typically, the word male refers to bodies with a penis, a scrotum, testicles, and a higher dose of hormone called testosterone. The term intersex refers to bodies that have some male and some female biological characteristics. Although the term is kind of new, now we call them and know them as intersex people. So the term gender, though, refers to behaviors, traits, and characteristics typically associated with one sex. The words boy, man, girl, and woman are used by many people to describe their gender identity. A person's gender identity often aligns with the biological sex that they were assigned at birth, okay? So typically, if they were assigned a vagina, then they're typically what? A girl. That is, a person with male biological features will typically feel like a boy. And a person with a female biological features will feel like a girl. Okay? When a person's gender identity matches the sex that they were assigned at birth, they are cisgender. Have y'all heard this word?
No.
Cisgender. And then there are some people whose gender identity doesn't match the biological features of their body, okay? People whose gender identities differ from their biological sex they were assigned at birth are called transgender or trans. Okay, so if a transgender might have a vagina, a uterus, and ovaries, but deep down, he may be a man, okay? So that's transgender. A transgender woman might have a penis and testicles, but know herself to be a woman. Some people don't identify strongly with either gender, okay? And they feel themselves to be both or neither gender. Sometimes people feel this way, refer to themselves as gender fluid. Have y'all heard that word? Gender fluid, gender non-conforming, or gender queer. Whether a person is cisgender, transgender, gender fluid, gender non-conforming, or gender queer, many people express themselves in a variety of ways. And this is good. That's okay. However they want to express themselves. There is no one way to dress, talk, or behave in order to express your particular gender. Okay? So for example, if it's a boy and he wants to wear makeup, then that's okay. If it's a girl and they want to dress in boys' clothes, then that's okay. Everybody can wear what they want or feel the way they want, right? And they're still loved by God and they're wonderfully made. Another aspect of who we are when it comes to our sexuality has to do with who we tend to be attracted to as we develop romantic sexual feelings. Okay? This is called sexual orientation. So heterosexual or straight refers to people who are attracted to people of the other gender, okay? So if a girl is attracted to a boy or a boy is attracted to a girl sexually, then they're considered heterosexual, okay? Homosexual, which is considered gay or lesbian, refer to people who are attracted to the same gender. The term gay can refer to both men and women. The word lesbian always refers to women. So if men like men, or if women like women, then they're considered homosexual. Okay? And these words I know are confusing to a lot of everybody, and that's why we're going over them. Because these words are used very openly at school now. Do y'all hear these words at school? Yes. I get lots of questions about these at school and at my house even. And so I want y'all to know the correct terminology so that you can better understand people and so that you're not kind of like, hey, what's that mean when they say, you know, they're homosexual? What does that really mean? And that way you know the words. Okay. Bisexual refers to people who are attracted to people of multiple genders, such as men, women, transgender people, and or gender fluid people. So, bisexual, they might like, a man might like another man, or he might like a woman too, okay? So he might like both. Or a female might like a female and a man. And that's bisexual. Asexual refers to people who do not experience sexual attraction in the way most others describe it. For us here today, we want you to know that whatever kind of body you have, in whatever categories you feel fit you, God loves you. We're all different, and God loves us, and we all belong here. Okay? Now, all these green words up here on the board, these are considered our big words, okay? So we're going to go over all these words in the next 2 days. So I need help every now and then knowing where we are, okay? So, are there any words that we can take down that we've really discussed? Who wants to go take down some words?
I do.
Okay. Lily. Addie Blair. Addie Blair.
Sanctified grace.
Okay. You can go take that down. Okay, what else, Addie Blair, could we take down? Y'all think of any of the other ones?
Gender.
Do what?
Gender.
Gender. You can take down gender.
Okay.
Good. Found gender. They're all mixed in, aren't they?
We could take down like all the things that they ran.
Yes, gay,
And gender.
transgender.
Gender identity.
Are y'all amazed at how much we've already learned? Somebody really tall. We need somebody really tall.
I'll do it.
Okay, y'all can help.
Let me go.
We've already gone over a whole
Gender
lot.
identity, gender identity.
Gender, yes.
Gender fluid. cisgender. Genital. We haven't done genitals yet.
I don't think so. Bisexual. Hey, Abby. Asexual.
Yep.
Bisexual.
You're talking about cisgender.
What else? Bisexual.
Lesbian. It's under.
Bisexual.
And intimacy, right?
Bisexual.
Yes, we've done intimacy.
Sexual orientation. Cisgender.
Bisexuals up there.
Bisexual.
Cisgender. I'll just go on there. I'm gonna go work.
Okay, that's enough up there, okay?
Go get sexual orientation. Get previous grades.
Grace, good. Y'all can put them, the words that y'all are taking down, you can put over here on the table.
Have we done genitals?
No, we haven't done genitals yet.
What about estrogen and testosterone? No.
I think we're gonna talk a little bit more about it. We kinda, we mentioned it, but I don't think we went over it enough to take it down yet.
Can I run to the bathroom real quick?
Yes, very quickly. Okay, do we about have them?
Did we go
Fertilization.
No, that's.
Yeah,
We're gonna
stick
stick
it right
around
on there on the table. Okay, boys, y'all can have a seat. If we've missed any, we can, okay, good. Keep on, adolescents. We've done quite a bit, haven't we? Which one did you get, Glenn? Abstinence. Yes, we did do abstinence. Good. I think that's about it. If we find any more, we'll take them down. No, not really. I don't think so.
Didn't we go over hormones? Yeah, hormones.
I think we're gonna go over it a little bit more, so let's leave that one. Okay, we're waiting on Layton. Okay, now let's begin talking about the parts of both the male and the female. All external sexual organs are called genitals. So now we're going over the genitals. All bodies have genitals. Y'all know that? All bodies have a urethral open. That's where your pee comes out. An anus, that's where your poop comes out. Pubic hair, a mons, a shaft, and a glans. We're going to go over that a little bit more. So, pubic hair is hair that covers the genital area. No, not yet. You can use the bathroom when we have a break. We're going to have a break. We've already had a break. We'll have another one unless it's a true emergency. And boys, eyes on me up here. Okay? The hair is usually dark and curly, and this is a way of protecting the area and keeping you clean. Pubic hair is sort of like nose hair. Without it, much more dirt gets in your lungs and makes you sick. Pubic hair helps to protect and keep the genital area clean. That's why we have hair. Okay, the mons, you see the mons? You may know you have a mons. Have you ever heard that word? I'm going to tell you. The mons is the area, is the mound of skin just under the pubic hair, okay? The mons releases hormones or chemicals, that's another word for hormones, which are important for the sexual attraction. Remember how we talked about a little bit about the estrogen and the testosterone? That's why we have the mons. The anus is the opening for bowel movements or poop to come out. The urethral openings is for liquid waste or pee comes out. And then all bodies have a cylinder-shaped organ called a shaft. See, the male shaft and then the girl shaft. The girls, for male bodies, it's the penis, and for female bodies, it's called the clitoris. The glans is the tip of the shaft, and for the clitoris, it's the tip of a small ball. For the penis, the glans looks like a hat, kind of. It's okay to giggle. And all bodies have erections. Did y'all know that? An erection is when the tissue of the shaft, the penis or the clitoris, fills with blood during arousal. Arousal is a state of strong sexual stimulation, and when the shaft is not erect, it is considered flaccid. So flaccid is like floppy, right? So that would be a flaccid penis. Okay? Now, all bodies have breasts and nipples also. So girls and boys, both girls and boys. There is a small, darker area that surrounds the nipple, and that is called an areola. See, the areola is around the nipple in both girls and boys. Female breast and nipples are typically able to lactate, which is to provide milk for a baby. Okay, and then something else that we both have is the largest sex organ of the body is called the skin. Okay, the skin is sensitive and it reacts to touch. For all bodies, the skin becomes even more sensitive to touch when aroused. And another sex organ is your brain. Who said brain? Awesome. It's your brain. And the brain is very important to sex. You can make decisions about having sex or use your brain to think about sex. So your brain is a really good thing that you have. The brain is what decides unconsciously what a person finds attractive. And the brain is a large part of sexual intercourse. Okay. So y'all did really, really good on that. So, you can, let's see, just a 5-minute quick break, okay? 5-minute quick break. Those are a lot of terms to think about in our head. If you have questions, put them in here. We'll do a little question box here in just a minute. Yes, everybody have a question.
I didn't have a question.